have our next series spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkione. We have our South Korean Zerg player representing KranKy Z Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the reigning world champion representing KranKy Z Gaming as well. They are teammates. It's the red Terran player. It is Oliveira. I was just blowing my nose. Just preparing myself for the series, and this is going to be an interesting one. Again, we're on Alkione. Very long rush distance by ground. Does have a pretty secure 3 base and even 4 base setup as well. The last time we saw Oliveira on this map, we saw him go or force into an all-in as Lambo crippled his economy. That was game 1 versus Lambo. But we'll see how things differ here this time. As Oliveira has been quite aggressive in general these past couple of games. We've seen him go or set up for a borderline 2 base all-ins and just be hyper aggressive, very in the face of the Zerg. On a map like Alkione though, I imagine I imagine we're going to be going into a much more macro based opener here, something more economic. I'm feeling 3rd CC before Starport. I'm feeling it. We'll see. Here we go. You know you're in good shape when you get the veto, sorry, the Terran to veto Razza in ZvT. I mean, in general, you want. I think you just want to veto it. I'm sure if Oliveira didn't, I'm sure Dark would. It's fair. It's fair. I remember it was very similar last season. It was Near Humanity and God, what was the other? God, it hasn't even been that long. What were the 2 maps last season? Near Humanity and I think that's the main one that I'm thinking of. Where you would get like player chicken, where like there would be cases. I remember because we'd be in the lobbies with players doing vetoes. There'd be cases where one player wouldn't veto Near Humanity because they want the other player to do it instead and waste their veto on it. Or I say wait, like just spend their veto on it. And if it doesn't get vetoed, like you get players like, wait, what the hell? Wait, what are you doing right now? What are you? Aye. Then you end up in like Clown Fiesta games. No, like that happened more than once. I remember happening in the previous map pool as well. For Pride of Altaris, that's it. For Pride of Altaris, remember it happening for that map. Veto chicken, it is a thing at times. It is a thing. For now though, we're getting into our openers. We have our 3rd base on the way. Again, Hatch Gas Pool out of Dark. Likewise, we do have a 3rd CC before Starport out of Oliveira. So very economic openers all around. Did mention that a map like Alkione, just because of how long it is, how large it is, we don't really expect, I didn't really expect any kind of major aggression this time out of Oliveira. We save that for later on in the series, for later on down the line, especially on Golden Aura. Like I'm kind of looking forward to it. Kind of looking forward to Golden Aura. If we get there, that's going to be the ace match. The ace match. As there's that add-on swap. This is exactly what we saw in game 1 versus Lambo, as we're going to be going for a Viking first. Ooh, this time we are going to be throwing down that cloak, I believe. Yeah, I'm curious if this is going to be a fake out and we cancel it and we go Viking into medevac. To wind it all back, for those of you that weren't here for game 1 of Oliveira versus Lambo, Oliveira did go for a Hellion drop. He made 8 Hellions. He had 4 Hellions on the left hand side. He went for a 4 Hellion drop into the main, and the Viking led the charge by hunting down all the Overlords. But we can see that there is no medevac and we are committing into Banshees. Okay, and I think this is a very wise choice. Dark is known for his Roach aggression, and as I say that, there is a Roach Warren and Roaches are on the way. Roach play is very common here for Dark, so opening up Banshee I think is just a very wise choice against him, regardless of the map, regardless of what point you are in the series. There we go, Roaches are moving out across north. They have been spotted by these Hellions. Oliveira, he is aware, he sees, and he should be preparing back at home. Trying to get some extra hits in. Meanwhile, back at home, Dark is droning, so he's going for, I believe, a 9 roach push. 8 roach push. There we go. 8 roaches. There's that Banshee, and the Banshee is going to force these roaches to turn back around and to head back home. And again, this is why you want to be opening roach against Dark. Just because he is so... He's just one to go for these initial roach pushes here. And roach openers in the early game. So really good trades here, really good value out of Oliveira. Does force this back. And Oliveira is in a pretty good position from here. He's getting his 3rd CC up and running, getting into the rest of his Raxes. Dark back at home, going to be droning, taking his gases. Working towards 1-1 as well, as we have that double Eva chamber. Now, when it comes to these upgrades, I'm really curious if he's going to get +1 range or melee. Dark, he can commit to Roach Ravager, and he can transition into a later Hive. That is an infestation bit on the way. Gases, all 6 gases even are being taken. This could be Roach Rav into Lurker. But there we go. It is melee. We do have melee, not range on the way. So the Roaches are merely a stepping stone, and they're a stepping stone for Lingbane. Meanwhile, the Banshees get across the map. Good reaction out of Dark. He does spot them. Does save those workers, and he is not going to lose the Queen. Not going to lose any workers either. The drone's a little bit mis-rallied, but it's okay. They're getting back to work. So far, good reactions out of Dark. What's important is that Oliveira does keep these Banshees alive, which means he can always dip back in and get some more worker damage as he does that very same thing. Oh, doesn't quite get a drone there. But again, very important that Oliveira keeps us alive so we can always go back in and try and get damage done and try and allow this to actually pay for itself. He gets one. Does get one drone. Meanwhile, back at home, he's fully walling off. That's a second factory for double tank production. We have 2 gases being taken. This is not a 3-base all-in. There's a 4 CC on the way. So Oliveira, he's just working towards a longer game, towards a later game. So again, very macro-oriented here out of Oliveira. Meanwhile, Dark, he's just saturating his bases, getting up to 80 workers. 5th base on the way. Oliveira just vying for map control, clearing up creep. But what's something that's very important to point out, as Dark is stable here on his side of the map, is that he was very greedy and very tech heavy. Like, he got a very fast infestation bit, and this is like a sub 8-minute hive. Very fast hive here from Dark. Very greedy, and again, he has been able to get away with that greed. Oliveira, he didn't hit his typical 7-minute push. He was chilling back at home. Oliveira was taking a more defensive position. And now he hits a minute later. Instead of 7 minutes, he's hitting at 8 minutes. As a result, that's why Dark was able to get away with taking so heavily. Adrenal is in production. Here we go, Oliveira setting up here with 4 tanks. On creep, is going to take a while here for that to recede. Bailey's going to be waddling on in, but the Bailey's to get focused down. Really good target firing out of Oliveira. Again, only Ling Ravager to defend, but we have more Baileys coming in. Up! The target firing once again, but it looks like we barely should have enough. The concave is real, and we break this position. The tanks go down. Dark will hold. At the same time, Banshees are wreaking havoc on the right-hand side. Getting a lot of damage done, actually, on this base. The Queens! We gotta go, Papi! The Queens! No, we're ejecting! The Queens, they peel off to eject, and it looks like this base may go down. Can we transfuse? Up! We'll be able to transfuse in time. The hatchery will survive. Oh, will it? The armies are clashing on the left-hand side, and it looks like we do dodge the biles. But bailing speed kicks in. No! And the Banshees did fall, but they did snipe the 5th base. Just barely. They took it down with their lives. The hatchery falls. And this is looking quite close here between these 2 players. Now, Oliveira, his tank count was reset. Like, there was a lot of potential with that push. Like, shout out to Oliveira, he's doing an amazing job at sniping all those Bailings and committing to this attack, but he was cleaned up. Dark, he's double expanding, taking 2 5th base at the same time. But upon losing all those tanks, Oliveira did lose a lot of momentum, and now he's more or less stuck on his side of the map. Looks like he's rotating towards the right-hand side. looking to knock down these rots. Looking to push towards that hatchery. At the same time, Liberators have arrived, but the Queens are in position. Again, Dark, some of the best Queen movement in the game. He's going to shut down the Lib. Oh, free tank is going to go down in the center of the map, and Oliveira, he's committing here on the right-hand side. He does deny the gold, but he's been spotted. And Dark is able to keep up here with the Bio Army. Again, because we got a Hive so early on, we already have +3 on the way. We have Vipers as well. And Oliveira's out of position. He is not back at home to defend. He has tanks, yes, but these tanks are looking very vulnerable. We need the Marines. Uh-oh. Ay, ay, ay. Yes, Oliveira, he's zoned away from his bases. These tanks are looking so exposed, and they're going to be going down. Ay, ay, ay. Oliveira, he wasn't home. Wasn't where he needed to be. What is this? 6 tanks going down. The Marine Army does come in from behind, and we will clean up the Ravagers. And who does this favor? That's the question here. This was a pretty interesting trade. That was 5 tanks going down. But Dark, he lost all his Ravagers. He lost every one of his Ravagers, and can Oliveira keep pushing? His economy was left untouched, by the way. Oliveira is up to 73 workers. And was that an overextension from Dark? As Oliveira, he can keep on pushing. On the cusp of maxing out. And Ling Bane rotating over towards the right-hand side. Oliveira, he's taking his time. And Dark is remaxing, this time with Ultras. There was a window, there was a big window where Oliveira, he was up like 60 supply. It was insane after that fight. He was up in supply, but yeah, he's a little bit too tentative. He does back off, and Dark is rebuilding his army. Not just that, the Ultras have arrived, and 3-3 is about to kick in. So again, I do think there was a window available for Oliveira, but just a little bit too passive, a little bit too defensive. Ultras have been spotted, Ghosts are on the way. Jump on the right-hand side is forced to pick up. And you can see that Dark is having a really hard time splitting up his army. Trying to defend both locations at once. The Ultras, they come in. Once again, the base on the right-hand side is saved, but I can't say the same for this base on the left. Dark instead going for a big counter check. The tanks are on siege! No, the tanks and the Ghosts as well. Big pick off. So much value here for Dark as he busts into the third base, and this time he will deal economic damage. Oliveira completely out of position. And Dark, he takes down the third. He busts into the natural. He takes down a factory. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my god, we're heavily overstimmed. We stimmed our way back home. Oh, Oliveira just losing so much here. He gets 7 workers and a base, but that is not worth it. And Oliveira, he was doing well. He was doing well in this game until this moment here. Where now his economy is crippled. He's down to 41 workers. He lost his bases. That was a kill on the CC. He lost his initial ghosts, and yeah, now Oliveira, he is on the back foot. And Dark's just chilling. He's on 5 bases, he's getting a 6th, he's working up towards 86 workers, and Dark, he can just remax. Can remax from this point. Again, Oliveira was doing so well for himself, but this is also the downside of Alcyone, is it is a large map, and if you don't have control of the Zonaga, for example, if you don't have sensor towers in position, it can be difficult to defend multiple locations at once and keep up with the movement of your opponent. That, of course, does go both ways. And Dark was able to take advantage of Oliveira. Now, is there a world, can Oliveira recover? He can if Dark stays at home, but Dark is typically an aggressive player, and he's just regathering energy on his Vipers. There we go, the Vipers just sucking on some buildings in the main base, and once they're topped up, we can push. This is basically what Dark is waiting for those Vipers, and then we can move out. So you have 23 more Banelings on the way, the Ultras as well. Now, Oliveira does have a good ghost count, and you can see that he is recovering. Like, he's slowly catching up in army supply. But there's no sensor towers here. And if Dark does decide to push here towards the left-hand side, then Oliveira's going to have quite a ways to maneuver, quite a ways to walk. Oh my god, oh my god. It looked like Dark saw the mine. He was trying to avoid the shot, but a big connection on his lings. We deny the gold. Dark pushing through the center, but Oliveira's in position this time. The Vipers! Big overextension for Dark. 6 Vipers go down in the blink of an eye. They get some power bombs, but that's all they get. At the same time, Ultra's going for their own counterattack, but the Ghosts are in position. And just like that, one solid fight, and Oliveira is back in control. He just killed all the Vipers and all the Ultras. But the Meilings! No! The Meilings are going to massive surround. The Planetary falls, 21 SCVs as well, and Oliveira is now all in. I'm getting deja vu to the match against Lambo. Oliveira's all in. He has no economy, but Oliveira, he is up in army supply. We have 54 Bailings on the way. That's a lot of Bailings. If they can connect, Dark can survive. If they don't, then Oliveira, he can snowball out of control. There we go, the Bailings! No! No splits! No splits out of Oliveira. But that was not the best trade for the Bailings. They crashed into Marauders. So we do rotate over towards that 5th base. Lings are coming from behind. The tanks are exposed. Tanks will be going down. The Spore repositions doesn't quite finish though. Dark does lose 2 bases. These drones are looking very exposed, but they will survive. The Bailings. The drones will make it out alive. That's the most important part, actually. Dark maintaining his 82 worker count. Big connections here with the Bailings, and because of Dark's economy, he can rebuild and he can remax. You know, he has a good enough base count here, and again, he kept all these drones. There was like 20 work. Oh god, no! Did I speak too soon? Oh, we're good. Keeps like 20 plus workers alive here, and with that Oliveira, he's running out of steam. He's running out of an economy. Can he make some magic happen again? Oh, good snipes. God, he takes down like 5 queens. Yeah, 5 queens go down. Okay, good snipes here from Oliveira, but corruptors have arrived. Yeah, this army is going to be forfeits. Meanwhile, we do see Oliveira pushing in towards the left-hand side. He does find a base. Once again, he gets a hatchery. He doesn't get the drones. The drones will escape. Uh-oh. Oof, oh my god. Mate, this one Widowmine has 57 kills. But oh, it finally goes down. It had almost 60 kills, mate. Ay. Papi. Meanwhile, I believe this is the natural. I thought it was the main base, but we did float the natural over towards that 4th. Oliveira, he is establishing the gold base even. He's still in this. With the power of this gold, Oliveira, he can come back. So he is muling as much as he can. Meanwhile, Dark going to be refining his army, not just with Vipers, but with Infestors as well. The Lings, they burrow. They're still there. They are still there. As we don't have enough energy for a scan. Again, we have very limited energy available here on these orbitals. Dark is recovering. Lings once again forcing another scan out. To clean up that army, Oliveira going to be lifting up his main, floating it over. To take as his, what is this? I'm losing count. Okay, we go 1, 2, 3, 4th. It's gonna be his 4th. Sorry, his 5th even. Oh. Okay. As Dark's army composition is a really interesting one. I believe we only have one Ultra, so mainly Ling Bane. Mainly Ling, actually. With a handful of Banelings sprinkled in. Here we go. We have a Mind Drop on the left-hand side. We have the main army pushing towards the gold. Once again, going to bring it down. Likewise, Dark going for his own Ling counterattack. He may lose the base. He may be losing drones, but likewise, he's also doing some counter damage across the map, trying to bust into the main. He's going straight for the production. The Lings, they're coming. And there's nothing back at home to defend. Oh, he cannot afford to lose the main base. Drop across the map will be cleaned up. Yeah, the Lings, they're just on top of the racks, on top of the factories, even supply blocking Oliveira. And what's scary here is that Dark has Lings burrowed everywhere in that main. Oh my god. Just being so annoying here, and again, because of the like kind of scrappy economic position, we actually don't have that many scans. Lings are everywhere. Oliveira is cleaning them up finally. And gonna be pushing out. Looks like the mines were cleaned up on the left. No Broodlords. There are Corruptors, but no Broodlords as the Lings, they come back into the main. Oliveira, he doesn't care. He's going to be pushing through the right-hand side. He's up in army supply. Oh, he misses the MP on those Infestors. The Ghost survives. Again, it's all about the spells, the fungal growths, if possible. Ling's going to be hitting the third. Army going down. Depots as well. Dark, he knows that he can't engage with this army, so he's avoiding it, and he's just going for constant run-bys. Constant counterattacks here from Dark instead. Oh, he wants the ghosts. He wants them, papi. As he's going to be pushing at the same time, we do see Oliveira pushing in as well. The choke point is real. A lot of Lings are going to go down. And Oliveira, he does snipe a Viper. Like, desperately, Oliveira, he knows that he has the better army. He wants a fight. He wants to engage. But the Lings turn back around, and Oliveira, he's deep on creep. Uh-oh. Oliveira, this is not where we want to be. The Lings are coming back home. Really good positioning out of Oliveira. And Dark, he is out of gas. He is out of gas at this point. That's why Dark is only making Lings. And it looks like Oliveira, like this game has been a roller coaster ride of emotions. You know, things have been going in favor of Dark, and then Oliveira, and then Dark again, and now it's back in favor of Oliveira. Dark, he needs another gas geyser. Yeah, that's why he doesn't have too many Banelings or too many Ultras. He just doesn't have the gas for it. You can see that Dark, he's starving. Oof. Mine Shot's going to be going up. Oliveira double expanding. Going to be losing the planetary, but GG gets called. It's just too much. Dark knows he cannot keep up, and Oliveira will take game number 1. GG. Oh my god. That moment when Oliveira, when he lost control of his third base and his natural, I thought it was over. I thought it was done then and there, but alas, Oliveira, so tenacious, never giving up, aware of course that he can pull apart his opponents, going for constant drop play, harass, pushing, and yeah, really well done there. Really well done out of Oliveira. Able to trade more efficiently than Dark, and of course cripple his economy. We saw towards the end there that Dark, he just didn't have any gas. He just didn't have the resources to really sustain himself and to keep up with Oliveira. GG. GG, well played. Here we go. And the pendulum swinging back and forth, back and forth. Catching up. Oh, yo, shout out to Sinistro in the chat. I like that Alcyone is probably one of the most picked maps this season. Is Golden Aura Vibes turned into an extremely good map? Yeah. Yeah. I do agree. Akioni, we have seen a lot of really good, games on that map. It's been amazing. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardlead. We have the South Korean Zerga player representing Dragon Kaiser Gaming down in this series, looking to fight back. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran player, the reigning world champion representing Dragon Kaiser Gaming. It is Oliveira. Yo, a big shout out to Cine. Fala galera. Fala, papi, fala. Obrigado. Thank you for tuning in. For those who don't know, Sinistro in the chat, there's a reason why he has a VIP badge, and he is el head hancho, papi, el padrino. He is the head admin of ESL. Of course, he puts in a lot of work when it comes to organizing events, both online and offline, and without Sinistro, StarCraft would be in a worse place. So thank you, papi. Thank you so much, Sinistro, for all the work that you do for StarCraft, for all the events that you work on. Gracias, papi, gracias. Obrigado. As we're getting into our games. As we're getting into game number 2. Just catching up. Just gonna be catching up. El Paquito in the chat as well. Get some sleep, papi. Anda dormir. Anda mimir, papi. So far, racks expand here from Oliveira. Likewise, hatch gas pull out of Dark, standard openers all around as we load into Hardlead. Talking about the maps a little bit, we were talking about how Akioni was, a longer rush distance and a very large map with different ways to play, of course, as Sinisha was pointing out. Here on Hardlead, it's another interesting one. Very short rush distance by ground. We have seen a lot of aggressive styles and a lot of all-ins. Thinking of Dark's nature, I wouldn't be surprised if he does go for a more committed Roach aggression. If you remember in game 1, he did open Roaches, but Dark was very greedy. He teched up into Hive, and he rushed into Ultras, or Ling Bane into Ultra Viper. Here on this map, I wouldn't be surprised if he does commit a little bit harder to Roach play, if he heads towards a 1-1 Roach timing with range this time, especially upon knocking down these rocks. You can actually have quite an attack at the third or even towards the natural. My eyes are on Dark here. And should they be? Because the reality is that Oliveira has been wild today. We've been seeing economic openers like the previous game, but we've also been seeing some very aggressive openers with 1-1-1s, with 2 base all-ins. And there it is, a 1-1-1 out of Oliveira. In my mind, this makes plenty of sense. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Banshee opener here from Oliveira, but we'll see. Again, Oliveira, he delays his 3rd TC in favor of a faster starport. So a very aggressive opener here from our Terran player. And we'll see how aggressive it gets as the Ling gets in and did not scout the starport. That was close, papi. That was close. Sinistro is el jefe. El jefe de ESL. My Spanish is correct. Spanish is correct. Sinistro is from Latin America. Not quite Spanish, but yeah, close enough. Close. It's fine. It's okay. It's all good. But yes, I like it. El jefe. As it is going to be a 1-1-1 Banshee opener, as we mentioned before. I do really like Banshee openers in general against Dark, and I was praising Oliveira for going 3cc Banshee in game number 1. Here in game 2, he's going straight up Banshee as the Hellions they dive in. Oh my god, the boys are being pulled, and how many drones are going to go down? It looks like not too many 5 workers. That could have been so much worse, as Oliveira just committed to the dive. 4 Hellions for 5 drones. Again, it could have been worse. I do kind of favor Dark in this position, as he's going to be able to resaturate his bases. Behind this is not all in. We do have a 3rd CC on the low ground, but again, a very aggressive opener nonetheless. And there is a lot of pressure on Oliveira to kill workers because, hey, he's delaying his own economy in favor of doing this. He dives in once again. This feels very desperate out of Oliveira. He gets a scout off. He will get maybe 1 extra drone. Gets 1 drone for 2 Hellions. He does drag the Queens out of position. And the Banshee gets in. And the Banshee will make up for those Hellions. 5 workers going down. We initiate the cloak. We head into the natural. No Spore! Oliveira popping off Papi Dark. He was not expecting Banshees. We have plenty of detection on the way, but so many drones are going down. A little bit of missed target firing there, though, on Queens instead of drones. 9 workers fall. 10 workers even. 11! 10. Really good damage done here by the Banshee, and that does make up for the Hellions, of course. 10 workers going down, and we're not done because we have a second Banshee moving out. Now, this second Banshee doesn't have as much potential as the first. You know, the jig is up, and now we have spores everywhere. Now we have Queens being spread out. Dark, he's mentally prepared and physically prepared for the Banshees. As they slip into the main. Oh, they get another drone. Another 2. Oh my, can we get a third? 2 workers, not too bad, but oh, the Banshee barely will escape. And behind this, Oliveira's expanding, and yeah, Dark, he's got a 10 worker lead, soon to be extending that lead, but I'm sure Oliveira's content with the damage that he dealt, especially since Oliveira did keep both Banshees alive. Returns back home, and he will top them up. And this is what I expected out of Dark. Remember at the start of the game, we were talking about how on hard lead you can be so much more aggressive and you can be all in, and I was talking about how this is a really good map to go for a 1-1 roach timing, and there it is. We have +1 range this time on the way for Dark. 1-1 is on the way for the Roach Ravager, which means Dark is going to be droning up to around 3-way saturation. We have 69 drones, nice, and I believe Dark is going to be cutting workers here at 69, and he's going to be making nothing but roaches. He's going to be looking to lay siege upon this third base. It's going to be a tough hold here for Oliveira. But Dark, he throws down an infestation pit. Never mind. Okay, Dark is not going for a 3-way all in. He can hit a timing with 1-1, that is true, but Dark is already working on the next step. So he's transitioning out of this. Going to be heading towards Infestors, towards Hive Tech, towards maybe even Lunkers. So this infestation pit is telling. Despite that, Dark is still focusing on roach production, but he's squeezing in a couple of drones here and there. Oliveira with some decent Sim City, a good tank spread as well. But his decent's going to be good enough, because Dark is focusing on his army. Ravagers are on the way. And this roach timing, it's going to hit like a truck. 2-2 now starting up. Dark does see this. He does have a changeling in the midst of the army. We now have a 4th tank getting ready. Additional tanks on the way. There it is, 4cc as well. And Dark is still just droning. Oh my god. The Banshee, calm down. As one Banshee finally falls for 6 drones. Well worth it. Well worth it for Oliveira. As he does turn back around, he does come back home. And again, Dark is working on that hive we were talking about because of the infestation pit. Dark is about to max out, but he's still droning, soon to be working on a 5th base. If I'm to be a little bit critical of Dark, that is, the 5th is very late. I do think he could have expanded quite some time ago. But his creep is not ideal here because the Queens have been busy with the Banshees. That may be why he doesn't feel safe enough to go for a 5th base. As Dark has maxed out, Oliveira's pushing. He gets caught on siege. The tanks are exposed. 1, 2, 3 tanks going to be going down. Rough start to the fight here for Oliveira. As Dark collapses in this army, he's going to clean it all up. All the tanks at least. The Marines do what they can, but yeah, this was not the fight to take. Again, that was just a really rough start to the fight there. Really rough engagement. So many tanks went down before the fight even started. And Dark, he can keep on pushing. Yeah, the Deepers are falling. There are 2 tanks behind this. But the factory's exposed. And typically a pure Ravager army isn't ideal, but yeah, we do have enough momentum regardless. We have reinforcements on the way. Dark, he's got a lot of momentum going for him, and he's going to try to take advantage of that. Knocks down the rooks. He's pushing towards the third. Oliveira, he's going for a Hail Mary play. He's sending a massive Doom Drop across the map. There's potential, but Dark is here, and Dark is pushing. Here we go. He busts into the third base. Tanks going to be going down one after the other. There's nothing to protect them. At the same time, Oliveira going for that massive Doom Drop. He takes down the Hive. We're going for a base trade, but Dark, he's already getting on top of the army. He takes down every single tank. The wall is not a wall. As Oliveira, he dives into the natural. He gets the Roach Warren. He is getting damage done, but it's still a numbers game. And Dark, he's just looking to bust into the main base, camp the production. Oh my gosh. This shop is getting a lot done. Like, unironically, we have a lot of overlords going down. Dark getting supply block for a moment there. A lot of drones are falling as well. Dark, though, in the main base. On top of those Raxes, on top of the factories. The Raxes, they're falling. No. Factory goes down as well. Oliveira going for the Great Migration out of his main base. The Vipers, they do get some power bombs off. Hatchery is going to fall. But Dark, he's still far ahead in army supply. We have an Ultra on the way. We have no answer for. We have Marines. Oh, God. As the boys are being pulled, the Ultra goes down. This is a good trade for Oliveira. Don't get me wrong. He's trading very well, and Dark is running out of steam. Remember, he did lose the Ultra Cavern. Sorry, he lost the Roach Warren, and the Ultra Cavern and the Spawning Pool are exposed. For Oliveira, he's racing back home. +3 attack is about to finish, by the way. It's still in the main. Dark, he's down to 1 mining base. Oliveira, he's coming back. And he can fight this. We have more SCVs going down. Oliveira, he's also on 1 base, soon to be 2 base mining. Technically, Oliveira does have the better economy, but Dark has a larger army. And even though Roach Ravager isn't very efficient, like, there's no tanks, there's no ghosts, there's nothing to really support the Marines. There's no Marauders. He scans, he sees the last mining base of Dark. Oliveira did so well, he sniped every other hatchery. But Dark is double expanding, he's resaturating those bases. Oh no, don't burn down. The orbital is on fire. And Raxes are exposed as well. A factory goes down. Oliveira fighting his heart out, and hey, he's gonna get a couple of units. Oh my god! Barely avoids his vials. Near, calm down, Papi. Steams on through, dodges the bullets. And I would say that Oliveira, he is recovering. He's looking decent here on his 2 base economy, but Dark, he's resaturating. He should be resaturating his bases and taking his gases. Still has his spawning pool and his Ultra Cavern. The game will settle from here. Oh, can we get the Viper? Up! We will get the Viper. Big pick off, but this medevac is going to fall. There's no escape. No! There's no escape. The jump for a Viper, was that worth it? I think so. Dark, he doesn't have a lair. Fun fact. No lair, no hive. He cannot replace that Viper. Here we go. Dark pushing over towards the left-hand side. Oliveira sending out a double drop. Uh-oh. Which means he has the bare minimum to defend. And this CC is going to fall. The SCVs are exposed as well. Likewise, we have Roaches to defend. And Dark, he's in position. Oliveira going to try to force his way through. Gets a couple of Roaches. More Roaches are falling. A good trade here from Oliveira, but he needs to get on top of the bases. He needs to get on top of the economy. The drones are being pulled away. And the workers will escape. Again, really good movement out of Dark. Able to avert disaster. Dark is still in control. This was close though. CC goes down. Oliveira down to 1 mining base, barely a mining base. GG gets called, and Dark will take game number 2. We're going to the ace match. We are going the distance. Oh. GG, well played. And yeah, if only Oliveira had known about top right. Remember, when Oliveira went for the quote-unquote base trade, he turned around after he killed every hatchery. He killed the main, the natural, the third, and the fourth. He killed 4 bases, and which was impressive. But he didn't know about the 5th, which is why he scanned earlier. And if he had known about it, then maybe he would have gone in that direction. Maybe he would have taken down that base before turning back around, and we could have seen a different game. It's possible. It is possible. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark. And we at least get a game 3. We're going the distance. We're going all the way to Golden Aura. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. Este Paquito. I'm fine, Papi. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sounds correct to me. Always a pleasure, mate. But there isn't a tournament without players and casters. True. So humble, Papi. So humble. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know, it's a team effort. It's a team effort. We all come together to make the dream a reality. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing KranKy Z Gaming, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Chinese Terran, the reigning world champion, representing KranKy Z Gaming as well. As this is a team kill, it is Oliveira. I said this before, I'll say it again. I just love that Oliveira is in shape, that he is in form again. Oliveira, he peaked very, very hard as well. We have a pool first, but he did peak quite hard at the start of the year, of course, becoming the world champion. Even after that, he was the MVP of WTL of the first season of WTL, or the last season of the year of last year of WTL. Did look so damn good. And then he kind of dropped off a little bit. You know, he took a couple of months off. He, you know, the speculation that he burned out a little bit after how much time and effort he put into Katowice. But now he's back. He's back with a vengeance, just in time for ESL Masters Winter, just in time for DreamHack Atlanta. And hey, he's forcing Dark to the ace match, not something that just any Terran player can do. And yeah, this was interesting. This was a pool first. It's going to be a pool into hatchery into a third. Okay. So we're going for a gasless opener. A different variation of gasless opener, to be fair. But this is something that Dark does very often on Golden Aura. Winding it back, Dark, he's done this on Golden Aura. He's done it on Radisson Station, of course, as well. Lings are moving out. So this is a bit of a PSA if you're in the chats. Be forewarned. This is an opener. This is a build that you can only do on a map like Golden Aura just because of how close together all these bases are, just because of how narrow these choke points are as well. You can get away with defending with only queens, with the bare minimum of Lings. Now, it was a pull first, so the Lings are being aggressive. Oliveira, he's back at home with the Reaper, and he will protect that CC. Up! I spoke too soon! Lings, they get into the main base, boys are being pulled, and the SCV does go down. The CC will be delayed by a couple of seconds, and even some more lost mine time in the main. The Marine did go down as well, and can we get another SCV? Not quite. As the Lings are being cleaned up, and Oliveira is going for a 3cc opener, which has been spotted by the Lings of Dark. So Dark knows that Oliveira is being economic, and again, Oliveira knows about the pull first into a third base. Again, this is really greedy out of Dark, just because we have very late link speed. And we're just focusing on mineral saturation, on droning. Talk about this all the time, but this is the same opener that Dark would do on Neo Humanity in the previous map pool, just because of the map layout. Behind this, yo, we casting Oliveira, we casting Cure. We're going for a add-on swap here into Cyclones. Okay. Do love to see it. Again, Cure has been very fond of Cyclone openers. This doesn't mean we're going to be seeing mech, but we do have Cyclones in the early game for map control to shut down Overlords and to maintain our position. Oh my god, how greedy are we being? We went 3cc, by the way. 3cc into Cyclones into double eBay. My god. Very fast upgrades on the way. The Rax is floating on over to shut down this Overlord. And again, Dark is just droning. And Oliveira is aware of that. He's aware that Dark shouldn't really be making too many units at all because of his opener. So Oliveira, he is safe to just disrupt his own production here. He does float back home. There it is, additional Raxes on the way. Cyclones are moving out. And because it's gasless, no Ling speed. Usually Lings completely shut down Cyclones. Without Lings, these Cyclones, they do have quite a bit of a presence here in the early game. They can threaten the Queens, they can threaten the Roaches. As Oliveira, he's just checking the gold, making sure everything is as it should be. And we're getting into our openers, into our builds. Again, Oliveira just vying for map control here. He's not committing. Important to note, he actually hasn't been scanning either. He's been muling quite heavily back at home. I think because of the opener, he's just been muling as much as he can. Yeah, 1-1, about to kick in. We don't even have the Evo chambers. This is how fast these eBays were from Oliveira. To go 3cc into double eBay, like, immediately, before the CC was even done. So he will have quite an upgrade advantage. Third base now being taken. Yes, who needs it? True, Bobby, true. Oh, I see Colossi in the chat. Cyclones OP, exactly. They're crazy. How dare he make a Cyclone? It has to be OP. Not wrong. As Dark is actually going to be quite greedy himself. So, I mean, he's been greedy this entire time, to be fair. Now he's getting into all 6 gases, and he did open up Roaches. Yes, he's working on range. But he's taking up immediately into an Infestation Pit and a Hydra Den. This is to get into Lurkers, into Hive Tech, into Lurker play. So again, very greedy and very tech-heavy style here from Dark. It means that Dark isn't going to be active anytime soon. We have the Reaper slipping into the main base, and he does not scout. And there's that Lurker Den. There's that Lunker Den that we were talking about. Again, Dark just cutting so many corners, rushing into Lurkers. And he's going to get away with it because Oliveira is also being greedy and chilling back at home. Like, he's not going to be pushing anytime soon. He's still working on 2-2. His tank count is still building up. Now, who's this going to favor in the end? Paquito, papi, big shout to Paco Mike in the chat, gifting a sub to the community. 5 subs even to Sinistro, to I like Histone, Histone 1, Frost, and many others. Phil, Yatsune, gracias, papi, gracias. Big shout. Sorry, I was just struggling to read names. I was caught off guard. Big shout to Paco Mike. For those who maybe aren't familiar with the name, and for those of you that are familiar, if you know, you know. Shout out to you. Paco Mike, he is the best Protoss player in all of Mexico, arguably the best Protoss in Latino America. Was at a time an active pro gamer. Nowadays, you know, Paco Mike has just been playing the game for fun. He's just been chilling, calming things down, taking a break. But we appreciate you, Paquito. We appreciate you. Always, always. as we have now hit the field, but lurkers are out. Like, this is what's crazy. We're at the 8-minute mark. We already have lurkers. We already have a hive. Lurker upgrades are on the way. Dark just turtling on up here. Already on, or nearing 80 workers at this point. And Oliveira's pushing. And this is a very strong push, don't get me wrong. But I don't think Oliveira has seen the lurkers yet. Now he has. He sees the lurker on the edge of the creep. He's aware. And can he break Dark? It all comes down to this push. We're hitting with 2-2, by the way. Big upgrades. The Vipers have arrived. We could have ducked, and we do take down the tanks. If it wasn't for the Hive, if it wasn't for the Vipers, then this would be a scary push from Oliveira, but he loses 2 tanks immediately. 3-3 starts up. Oliveira, he's already thinking about that next step. Oliveira, he is 8-raxing, by the way. Oliveira's going for a 3-base all-in. He's pushing on forward, collapsing this army, but the blinding clouds and the lurkers, they melt. They just chew through this. There's no way. The lurkers, they just have their way with this army. Oliveira has to back off. He cannot close that distance. And Dark, he is miles ahead at this point. He's 4CC now starts on location. Fun fact, this 4th started after Oliveira had realized that he couldn't kill his opponent. This was not the initial plan. This was not like the initial plan here for Oliveira's build. Now we have a Ghost Company on the way. This is supposed to be a strong timing with 2-2. This is supposed to kill at least the base. And you can see Oliveira plummet in supply. Down 20 workers. This was supposed to be a 3-base all-in out of Oliveira, and did fall on its face. Now the lurkers are getting across the map. There is 1 tank, but we have the Viper. We have the Viper, and we should be looking, for that abduction. Tank goes down. 4th base under threat. Dark is going to be bleeding out a couple of lurkers here. He's going to get surrounded. Big engage here by Oliveira. He completely surrounds the army, and it's still not enough. Oh my god. I mean, Oliveira didn't have enough either. He just didn't have a large enough army. It was a good surround. It was a good position, but could not break the lunkers, Papi. Couldn't break them. Now we do have a tank. A Viper is out of energy, so Darky can't quite push in, but we have lurkers on the right-hand side. They're everywhere, Papi. The lunkers. As we have limited scans, that's a problem. We don't have that many scans to make use of. These lurkers, they take down more SCVs. Finally, they will fall. Behind this, the Vipers, they've just been regathering all that energy. We're getting into Ling Hydra. Another lurker goes down. Dark being a little bit wasteful at times. The lurker getting within range of the mineral line. Gonna be forcing another scan as Dark rotates over towards that 3rd base. Big snipes going off. The abductions on the ghost even. Oh, big power bomb as well on them. Oh my god, doing so much damage to the Metamax. Dark is gonna be losing everything. The ghost, they pop off. They snipe every single Hydra and lurker. And Dark, has he been too wasteful? Has he been throwing away too much? Because now that we have ghosts, Oliveira has a more efficient army. As I say that, we still have lurkers everywhere. We're still being so annoying. But is this worth it? 2 more lurkers go down. Dark, he's been quite wasteful here. He's on 80 workers. He's almost on 90. He can replace this, but Oliveira, he's not too far behind in that worker count. The Hydras do push in. They take down the tank. Now, this was Dark's game to lose, but now Oliveira, he's kind of tied things up. We could do with a little bit better saturation at this 3rd base. We should be main-arting our SCVs over. And it's going to be a really big challenge here for Oliveira to expand and take a 5th. The 5th base is going to be difficult. We already have creep on the left-hand side. We have a burrowed lurker here on the right. Again, subpar saturation here from Oliveira. Hopefully he notices soon. Hopefully he does rotate over, as Dark is maxing out. And with Dark's economy, he can remax after this. As once again, we're going to be fanning out lurkers all over the place. Oh my god, big snipes! Oliveira, he takes down the lurkers, he's pushing through the center of the map, and Dark, does he have enough to hold? Even with these lurkers, even with the Vipers, there are so many ghosts! And I don't think there's enough Ling Bane. Big EMP. Yeah, we can collapse on this army. Bailey's, they connect. Good connections. But there's not enough to protect the lurkers. Oliveira, he's snowballing out of control. He breaks through, gets on top of the bases, and Dark doesn't have much left. Good connections. No splits. Oliveira, he wasn't looking. His attention was elsewhere. 33 SCVs go down. Big harass across the map. Dark, he's fighting back. If it wasn't for those Bailings, Dark would be in a lot of trouble right now, but Oliveira, he's now running out of steam. He's running out of army. Oh, sorry, Oliveira's running out of steam. He's running out of army. Dark, he's remaxing with more Lings. He's harassing across the map. 37 SCVs go down, and Oliveira's all in. Our Terran player is completely all in. Dark, he has the gold. As Oliveira sees it, and he is sending his reinforcements in that direction. Liberators on the fringe bases. Amidst all this chaos, Oliveira, he's fighting a lot of damage. He is trading well. We can see Dark likewise going to be rotating over as well towards that gold. And the workers are evacuated. Dark going for a big counterattack instead. Getting into the middle of the SCVs! Getting into the mineral line. 11 SCVs go down. The gold base will fall, but Dark does save most of his drones. Meanwhile, Dark, he's got lurkers on the way. And lurkers are saving grace. Because I'm sure Oliveira wants to scan. I mean, sorry, I'm sure he wants the mule and he doesn't want to scan. Speaking of, 2 scans, 1 for each lurker. More lurker harass coming in. It's just non-stop here for Dark. But Oliveira, he's up in army supply. Dark, he may have lurkers, but they're being used to harass and not being used to defend back at home. A Ling run by does get into the mineral line, but can Oliveira be stopped? The full mining base is towards the right. Once again, Dark, he saves his drones. He's so good at that. I mean, it's happened a couple of times this series, where immediately Dark does evacuate. Now the boys are being pulled. More SCVs going down. I do think that Oliveira can push into the natural, though. As he does come across the base. The drones are being saved, but where can they go? There's no safe place for them. As Oliveira's pushing towards the natural. There are Banelings. There are Banelings in position. Decent spread here from Oliveira. He takes them down. And it looks like Oliveira, he has too much. He has finally done it. Dark, he may be in the main base with his lurkers, but he's losing everything else. Everything is on fire. 0 mining here for Dark. He has nothing left. I mean, the lurkers, they're putting in some work, don't get me wrong. But there's nothing waiting here in the main base. There's nothing left in the main. 2 Hydras are in production. Oliveira, he's down to 0 SCVs, but he keeps the orbitals alive. And Oliveira doesn't push up into the main. He's coming back home. The snipes. Up. Oh my god. He is coming back home, and we have plenty of scans available. Plenty of scans. And we take down the lurker here outside the natural, take down the lurker at the third, and there's one lurker left. And that's all she wrote. That's everything. When it comes to army units, we have one infestor, we have 4 lurkers in production, but again we have plenty of scans available. Oh, as we just mule. Uh-oh. Did just mule, so we have to be careful. Go base is cancelled. Dark going to be expanding here at his triangular third location. The drones are still coming back. No, we did such a great job keeping them alive. Okay, we do pull back just in time. Drones are falling. We can see Dark trying to muster up an army. He's taking a defensive position here. We have 1 infestor for fungals. We have 5 lurkers. Scan does reveal the base. Spores are in position. I would love to see like hold position micro here from Dark. Oh yeah, he scans. Oliveira, he sees the lurkers. He's aware of where they are. Liberator goes down. Good fungal. And Oliveira, he's diving in. And so does Dark. The tanks are going to be going down. This is not the best fight from Oliveira. He had so much momentum in this, but he's going to be losing some of his ghosts. Oh, the lurkers. They do go ham, and Oliveira, he's losing his advantage, but yeah, here comes an army from behind. GG gets called. Oliveira, he has too much, and he will take the series 2-1, eliminating Dark from the tournament. GG. GG, well played. Oliveira will come out on top. He will take the best of 3. Congratulations to Oliveira. And really impressive. Dark initially had a massive advantage. Remember, Oliveira went for a 3-base all-in. He went for an 8 racks and it failed. Oliveira's build failed. But after that, to wind it back, if you remember, after Dark shut down the army, he went for a counterattack with his lurkers, and he was being too wasteful. We were a little bit critical of it at the time, but Dark, he was throwing away so many lurkers, and he had an economy, but he was never able to build up a bank because he was just being